The secret of Mar-a-Lago Mansion unfolds as a long, layered story of ambition, privacy, power, and reinvention that begins in the early 1920s when Marjorie Merriweather Post, heir to the Post serial fortune and one of the wealthiest women in America, envisioned a winter estate in Palm Beach, Florida, that would be more than a seasonal retreat and instead function as a quiet center of influence, a place where wealth, diplomacy, and social hierarchy could merge behind carefully guarded walls. And in 1924 she began construction on Mar-a-Lago, meaning sea to lake, a sprawling 126-room palace stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to Lake Worth, built with imported Spanish tiles centuries old, Italian marble, European ironwork, and priceless artifacts collected from around the world. Yet from the beginning the mansion carried an unusual secrecy. As Post insisted on strict privacy rules, controlled guest lists, and a service culture built on silence, creating an environment where conversations were meant to stay inside the walls. Throughout the 1920s and 1930s, Mar-a-Lago hosted diplomats, industrialists, royalty, and political figures in gatherings that appeared social on the surface but often doubled as strategic meetings, as Post herself was deeply connected to Washington power circles and used her homes to influence relationships, particularly during World War II when global tensions transformed Palm Beach into a sensitive coastal zone due to German U-boat activity offshore, leading to heightened military presence and quiet government attention on estates like Mar-a-Lago that welcomed foreign guests. And although officially used at times for military purposes such as housing officers, rumors persisted among staff that certain rooms were off-limits, guarded more closely than others, and occasionally prepared for meetings that required unusual discretion. After the war, Post attempted to cement Mar-a-Lago's role in American history by donating it to the U.S. government as a permanent winter White House, believing it should become a symbolic counterpart to Camp David, but the government declined due to the immense cost of upkeep and security, leaving the mansion suspended between private legacy and public purpose, slowly aging while retaining its aura of authority. And when Post died in 1973, Mar-a-Lago entered a period of uncertainty, its grandeur intact but its identity unresolved, until it was purchased in 1985 by Donald J. Trump, who immediately recognized that the true value of the mansion was not merely architectural but psychological, transforming it into a private club where access itself became the commodity, membership fees filtered society, and proximity to the owner translated into visibility, opportunity, and influence. While publicly marketed as a luxury resort, Mar-a-Lago increasingly functioned as a controlled ecosystem where business deals, political alliances, and informal negotiations occurred in private dining rooms, terraces, and ballrooms designed for discretion, supported by service corridors, layered security zones, and spatial separation that allowed multiple levels of activity to occur simultaneously without overlap. And over time the mansion became both a symbol and a shield, projecting glamour outward while absorbing pressure inward, particularly during Trump's presidency when Mar-a-Lago was frequently referred to as the Winter White House, hosting foreign leaders, donors, advisors, and officials. In a setting that blurred the boundary between governance and leisure, reinforcing the mansion's long-standing role as a place where official power and personal authority quietly intersected. Incidents over the decades, including heightened surveillance, security breaches, sudden lockdowns, and investigations, only deepened Mar-a-Lago's mystique, fueling speculation about what truly happens behind its gilded doors, while staff members and longtime observers have described the property as emotionally charged, a place where celebrations coexist with tension, where silence returns quickly after guests depart, and where certain rooms feel permanently alert, as though the mansion itself has learned to listen. Yet the true secret of Mar-a-Lago is not contained in a single scandal, document, or headline, but in its continuous function across a century as a private stage for influence, a structure designed to appear open and dazzling while remaining fundamentally controlled, where visibility distracts from decision-making, exclusivity replaces secrecy, and comfort becomes a tool of power. because from Marjorie Merriweather Post's original vision to its modern incarnation, Mar-a-Lago has consistently served those who understand that the most enduring authority does not shout, does not explain itself, and does not need walls to hide, only beauty, distance, and doors that quietly close when the conversation matters most. During World War II, Palm Beach became a sensitive coastal zone because German U-boats were operating off Florida's coast. Mar-a-Lago, owned by Marjorie Merriweather Post at the time, hosted foreign diplomats and elite guests, which quietly raised U.S. government concerns about espionage risks. The property was partially used by the U.S. Army for housing officers, and access to certain areas was restricted, fueling long-standing rumors of intelligence monitoring. Post donated Mar-a-Lago to the U.S. government to serve as a presidential winter retreat. The government rejected it due to extreme maintenance and security costs. Internally, officials worried the open layout and coastal exposure made it difficult to secure, marking the first time Mar-a-Lago was formally considered a security liability, not an asset. When Donald Trump purchased Mar-a-Lago, there were serious legal and political battles over whether parts of the estate could be altered or demolished. Preservation groups claimed historical damage risk, while local officials raised concerns about zoning violations. The conflict exposed how power and wealth could override resistance, creating a reputation of Mar-a-Lago as untouchable. Multiple unauthorized access incidents occurred while Mar-a-Lago functioned as the Winter White House. In 2017, an intruder breached security during a presidential visit. In 2019, a Chinese national was arrested for entering with electronic devices and false credentials. These incidents raised serious concerns about intelligence exposure at a location hosting sensitive political discussions. The most consequential dark incident occurred when classified government documents were discovered stored at Mar-a-Lago after Trump left office. This led to a historic federal investigation, an FBI search of the property, and global scrutiny. The incident permanently transformed Mar-a-Lago from a private club into a symbol of legal and national security controversy. Reports emerged that foreign intelligence agencies had shown interest in Mar-a-Lago due to its informal environment, international membership, and high-level guests. Intelligence experts publicly warned that the club atmosphere increased the risk of conversations being overheard or monitored. Staff and members have reported unexpected lockdowns, room closures, and heightened security measures at various times, particularly during investigations or high-profile visits. These incidents reinforce the mansion's reputation as a place where normal resort activity could instantly shift into a high-security environment.